Good morning, folks. Excuse the road noise. It's now 6:05 in the morning. Got a decent sleep last night. First night of breaking out the liner because it was really cold last night. A bit cold this morning with a bit of wind. Quick recap of the last 3 days I've done. I've done Metalbridge to Carlisle, which is 12 miles. Then Carlisle to Abbeytown, 18 miles. Then bus journey to Skimperness. Then about a mile and a half up to Green Point. On day 2. And day 3 was Green Point, and I got to Maryport, which was about 19 miles. But I couldn't find anywhere to wild camp up there, so I had to walk a further mile. And I'm here just outside of Flimby, parked my tent beside the Cumbria coastline, where I've been walking up by 2 trains. Great alarm clock. Today I'm gonna get down to Whitehaven, which is about 13-14 miles away, and then I'm gonna go up into the cliff. Like, the path climbs up to Simply's Head, and I know there's somewhere around there where I can camp up. So it's probably going to be a relatively short day compared to day 2 and day 3. So you're probably looking about 15-16 miles today. In the meantime, I've got the kettle on for a brew, I've got some breakfast, get packed up, and I'm going to get going. So, just so that you can see some grass where the path was, obviously you have to make a slow trudge up here. I've just climbed the boulder field here, but just point down there's a point. But the reason why I climbed it was because I saw that. Now you think about it, it's pointing back that way, but when you look, it's a boulder field. In short of going from the grass bank and then going across along the railway line, no way. My advice, if the tide's out, is to come along the beach and then join the track. I don't think the DJI is going to pick this up well. Excuse the wind noise. Obviously, you've got the path I've just walked up here, sneaking all the way around. There's Maryport Pier, and way out in the distance in the haze is Silloth. And obviously the magnificent Criffel still in our eye line. Obviously the faint outline of the Scottish coastline going across and over there. And if I'm right in thinking, so that's the hill I've just climbed, and I've just come down that face there. That marker post there is obviously for the Cumbria Coastal Way and the England Coast Path. Instead of going down that face there, come down directly down this face. You see this marker post here, up here, towards the next marker post on the next rise. So there we go, folks. The Cumbria Coastal Way, the England Coast Path. Obviously you come over this bridge just over here, down this crossing, across here. And then down here, and I believe you go up those steps there to go back across the bridge. So here we go, folks. Back on the Cumbria Coastal Path / the England Coast Path. And now go around here. Next prominent feature is the How, which is a raised bit of land over by Workington Port. But for the time being, we're going to follow the south side of the River Derwent down.
Bit of history there for you. This plaque commemorates the landing at Workington of Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, at 7 p.m. on Sunday, May 16th, 1568, after a flight from Scotland, dedicated by the Mary Stuart Society. So she landed here after fleeing Scotland, which is just over in the distance. It's a nice little sheltered harbour as well. Oh, to have a boat like that, hey? So here I am, top of the How. Visibility is clear. Well, apart from Lakeland Fells, some of them in the cloud, but you got a wonderful view of Workington, Salterbeck. And I go past this monument over, way out in the distance there in the light. That's Whitehaven, and that massive jut out at St Bees Head, and that's where I'm going to be roughly tonight, camped up. And on other words, if I look back, you've got the magnificent Scottish coastline, Dumfries and Galloway. And a huge quarry, what's left of it. For now, I'm going to make my descent back down to find Cumbria Coastal Way, which runs out somewhere in that direction. So where it says KFC, there's a path roughly around from there, follows out to the next big headland and onwards to Whitehaven. Hey, it's been a while. So, quick recap. I'll just take a photograph of this. Quick recap. So, when you come off the How, and when you come down off the top of the How, you see the post marking left down the hill. You follow the fence line along, you see a gap in the fence, go left in that gap, down a set of steps, and go through another fence. You'll see the KFC directly in front of you. Go through their car park and up onto the road bridge, cross over the railway, and then down the opposite side, and you'll just see on your right hand side the Cumbria Coastal Way / England Coast Path marker, which then brings you out onto a track that ends just here and comes out here at this pond. It then goes down this track here and along the fence line, following the railway line. And again, there's a nice view of St Bees Head. So, as you come down this track, I immediately went left. Upon checking the map, you go right down here. And under the railway. Now I'm 6 foot and I'm not going to get through here properly, bear with. Let's take you through. Oh yeah, ideal for somebody that's less than 6 foot. And then you immediately bear left down this path, keeping the rail track on your left now, mile to Harrington. So yeah, the signpost there next to the grey metal post, that sign does not actually point to here, it points up there. But what you do is from that sign, come up this hill to here and up these steps and up around. and then you go across the railway bridge and then up the hill. Right folks, so just give you a quick pointer. Just don't know if you can pick it up, but where the gatepost there, that's an alternative link path for the England Coast Path. However, the Cumbria Coastal Way comes up the field boundary and comes out on the road just here. And this road will then take you down to Lauca, then back down to Parton, then back onto the actual coast. I can understand why the England Coast Path uses that alternative route, keeps you off this road, but as I said, I'm doing this true to form of how it used to be, even though there's no signpost there to say to come this way. Well, walking the old tramway into Whitehaven. You can see its piers, the chimney stack, St. Bees Head, and obviously harbour town of Whitehaven itself. You can also see, just stop for a minute, the route out up, the path up and over. So that's where I'll be going after a while, after I've been here and I've had my tea. But in the meantime, let's crack on. So here we are, we're on the next section of the Cumbria Coastal Way. And this time it's a Whitehaven to St. Bees cliff path. Toast distance to St. Bees Station 7.1 miles. We're going to go about 3 miles close to the lighthouse, so we'll be around about in that area somewhere. But yeah, this is a little walk to do as well. So can't miss it. It says Coastal Pathway on the sign there. We just got to follow those. One last look of Whitehaven Marina. Some lovely boats in there, like that probably £1 million one. We all know who that dude is just there, John Paul Jones, spiking the guns. So we're walking past, we're going to be walking past Hake Pit. One of its mining shafts extends out underneath the bay, over to my right, behind the mound. I can see where I need to be, obviously up there somewhere, and I can just see where the path snakes up as well. But you can't miss the path. At the moment, it's this grey track. And if I should stop for a minute, the Alaman's made an appearance. It's nice to see that it's still here. If you can read that, pause and read it. And the year I was born. So, I've been trudging all the way up and up here, and then up to where those houses are, and then down, and then down. So not far to go. So here we are, folks. I don't think you can see that properly because of the light. But this is a turning point inland if you're going to do the coast to coast, which which is the same length as the Cumbria Coastal Path. But I'm going on down this way, so let's crack on. Well, I'm finally camped. Not an ideal situation, but somewhere, you know, where I can get the tent up just. I'm in the area near Flimby Bay, so not far from St. Bees now. A lovely sunset, and obviously the Alaman in the gloom over there. I'm going to have to call it here for this walk tomorrow. It's not over for the walk. I will be back later on in the year to complete it from St. Bees. It's just that today from Flimby to here has done me in knee-wise with the wind. It just took a toll on both knees, being battered around by the wind. So I'm taking the decision to head home tomorrow from St. Bees, and as I say, come back and resume the walk from St. Bees to Milnthorpe. But I'm happy I've done 4 days of it already, and I've covered, just got to quickly work this out, 37, about nearly 70 miles of it already walked, which I think is not bad, considering it's 182 miles long and I've done 70 miles of it already in 4 days. I think that's a good effort. So yeah, so rather than risk further injury to my knees, I'm gonna, 2 seconds, let the camera focus. I'm gonna walk up that headland there towards St. Bees tomorrow, and as I say, get a train home. So it's good night from me.